Hey Hatchlings, it's DragonFeather and welcome back to day 16 of our 31 days of Samhain, and for today we will be covering how to honor the dead. I wanted to touch upon this because there are so many ways to honor the dead and there's so many different cultures around the world who have different ways of honoring their dead, and I personally find it really fascinating, and I also find it a way to connect with those whom we may have lost. For this particular day, we wanted to give you some more information about different ways to honor the dead so you can try one of them and maybe have your own experience honoring your dead if this is something that relates to you. Commonly, you can have an altar to honor your dead. You can build either an ancestor altar or an altar specifically to whichever family member, friend, whatever loved one you have lost may have passed and can be dedicated to them specifically. You can leave offerings at this altar, you can commune with them at this altar, and you can just genuinely spend time with them in front of an altar that you create for your loved ones. A very common way to honor the dead is by providing them offerings, and there's infinite offerings that you can give. Some of them include physical offerings like food or clothes and maybe items that they loved, maybe things that they really enjoyed, and other offerings may not be physical, like offering them dancing or offering them music or offering them conversation is something that you can do. It's just up to the individual to decide which type of offering they would be most comfortable and most inclined to give to their loved ones who may have passed. For me personally, I have had a lot of loss in my life, very personal to me. While I'm not going to go into depth on really who I have lost, I wanted to kind of discuss how I honor my dead, and one of the biggest ways for me to honor those who have passed for me is by writing songs about them, and I wrote Another Star about someone who I lost. And it's just a way not only for me to cope, but a way for me to almost immortalize them and my love for them, because, you know, I hope that my songs live on past me, you know what I mean? And I feel like offering a written song is something so much more like filled with love than just an apple, you know what I mean? It's so much more than just like a trinket or a piece of clothing, in my opinion. It's like I'm offering them a piece of my heart and soul. And when it comes to those who we truly love dearly, and if we are musically inclined, I think that this is something that's really important to give if we can, you know, if it's something that flows easily for us like it does for me. I do have and hold rituals for those who have passed, and I like to do these under the stars personally, and I, you know, call upon the elemental guardians, you know, I cast my circle, I have offerings for them, I, you know, play music for them, I converse with them, and I just like tell them like what I loved most about them, and I tell them like, you know, how much I miss them and what, you know, all of those things, like just having a genuine conversation with them as if they were here too. And sometimes it gets emotional, and sometimes it gets really hard to like go through those processes, those rituals and those, you know, offerings without getting emotional, and that's completely and 110% okay. Like we mentioned earlier in our 31 days of Samhain, crying is a natural form of release, and when we lose people, sometimes we need to cry to release the pain that comes with that loss. Loss is completely normal and completely natural, and everyone deals with it a different way, and so there's no right or wrong way to honor your dead is what I'm trying to say. And for me personally, having rituals where I can commune with them, where I can offer them songs, where I can, you know, dance with them under the stars is something that helps me, like, honor them and helps me move on. And it gets emotional too, and sometimes I haven't really been able to finish the ritual just because I'm overcome with emotion, and sometimes it happens, and that's just something that I wanted to share with you guys for this particular ritual. I mean, for this particular day of Samhain. So before we get into the different ways of giving offerings throughout the world, I just wanted to let you guys know that this entire challenge was brought to you by one of the Hatchlings in the Hatchling clan, and she goes more in depth on all of the offerings and gives more of her personal experience, as this is one of her main focuses of her practice, and I'm learning so much and it's so awesome. So if you guys want to learn more in depth about honoring your dead, I highly recommend checking out the link below made by one of the Hatchlings in the Hatchling clan, and share with us your ways that you honor your dead as well, and your favorite offerings to give to. But let's go ahead and discover the different types of offerings that are given around the world. In China, they use Chinese paper offerings. These paper offerings can be spirit money or materialistic items. They believe that after burning these paper offerings, their loved ones who passed on will receive these offerings on the other side. And me personally, I really love this because when it comes to honoring my dead, sometimes when I want to commune with those whom have passed, I'll write a letter and burn it. And like when it burns and as it turns into smoke, like the smoke is like it going to the other world. It's like the smoke is raising the message up to where they are, kind of thing is how I look at it. So I really love that. In Mexico, they have Day of the Dead, or Dia de los Muertos. And in Mexico, when honoring the dead, people make sure there are plenty of flowers and salt as well as water. These items represent life. It helps cleanse them as well as help the thirsty spirits. Some traditional Mexican dishes are also placed as offerings as well as any other items that the dead enjoyed in the life. I have been to some Dia de los Muertos celebrations. I haven't really like participated in honoring my dead in this, but seeing the celebrations of them honoring their dead is something that I personally love to be a part of. It's so festive, and especially seeing everybody dressed up and, you know, doing sometimes group offerings for the dead. I just find that so beautiful and so amazing, and I want to like, you know, experience that more, especially when it comes to like on a witchy level. I want to like honor the dead with a bunch of witches, and Dia de los Muertos is something that I grew up with a lot. Like I said, it's not really a part of my heritage personally, but I spent a lot of time around people who it was part of their heritage, and it was very much a part of their culture, and like learning so much and watching, you know, folklorio dancers like dancing to these like for the dead, but just watching them dance as a group together to honor the dead is just like beautiful to me. And even though I don't know much about the holiday, I have really cherished my experiences with that particular holiday. So for Japan has a tradition called Obon, I hope I pronounced that right. And Obon is also known as the Festival of the Dead. For 3 days they honor the dead. They light lanterns to guide the spirits to and from their home. Some offerings include lotus-shaped sweets and sake, as well as an offering welcome dance. Different areas of Japan will have different dances as well. So I really like that too, and I think it's really common for people to offer dance to the dead, because when we dance we raise a lot of energy, and not just like spiritual energy, we raise a lot of physical energy when we dance. It requires so much movement from your body that just naturally creates energy, and that naturally attracts not only like mythical creatures, spirits, guardians, guides, gods, and goddesses, but it also like attracts the dead. The whole reason why we wanted to cover honoring your dead is because even though death is a natural part of life and living on the earth, even though we all lose people, we all lose those who we love, we all lose those who are close to us, and sometimes it can be a reality shattering experience, it's important to realize that our loved ones never really leave us, and they're always with us, and we always have them in our hearts, and we can always call upon them. And by, you know, taking the initiative to consciously and, you know, physically even work with them and commune with them and offer them things and build altars for them, like, is just like the next step to take in order to attract those ones who you may have lost to you again. And especially when the veil is at its thinnest, this is why I feel like so many celebrations of honoring the dead occur during this time, because people can just naturally feel their loved ones closer when the veil is thinner, and it's just easier to communicate with them. And as the leaves are falling from the trees, you know, we are grateful as we see the earth kind of die a little. It's not dead, you know what I mean? It's just kind of going into a slumber for the winter time, but as we see that happening, we're reminded to be grateful for the life that we do have, and we're reminded to be grateful for the ones and the harvests and the things that we do have. And so that's why honoring our dead is so important, because not only does it establish a connection between us and our loved ones who have passed, but it also reinforces within us that we're never truly alone, and those who may have passed on never truly leave us. So that's all I have for you guys today. Again, don't forget to check out the post made by one of the Hatchlings in the Hatchling clan for more information, and it's all linked down below for you guys, so it's all easy to find. And please don't be afraid to join us and share some of your experiences with us in the clan as well, as we always love to hear your experiences and your perspectives so we can all learn and grow together. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. I absolutely love talking about the dead and honoring the dead, because every time I do, it like helps me get over the fear of dying, and it helps me look at it more as a celebration and something to honor and something to respect and cherish, rather than something to be afraid of and push under the rug, you know? I feel like it's something that is a little taboo even in our society. Something that happens to everyone seems so taboo sometimes, but I just absolutely loved sharing this with you guys, and I hope you guys enjoyed it and learned something new. So I wanted to share all my love and light with you guys for today, sending you endless love and positive vibes always. But until next time, stay geeky, cheeky, and freaky little hatchlings. But until next time, blessed be and bye.
And it's funny that you think that I'm different when we're both